linemen. Join the brotherhood built on hard work, authentic people, and pedigree of success. Bauer, a family-friendly company who reminds you, go Big Red!
At Allo, we believe in the exceptional. From extraordinary whole home coverage to super fast speeds, our local teams are always on hand to make sure your service is running at top performance. Let go of lag, banish buffering, and enjoy outstanding service throughout your entire home. We believe in delivering nothing less than exceptional service, so that's exactly what we do. Visit us at allofiber.com to experience the exceptional.
There's no better way to spark a child's imagination than to get lost in the adventure of a good book. I'm Jenny Benson, president of NSEA. Working together, parents and teachers can help every child succeed. You can help by reading to your child and let your child read to you. Encourage reading in your home and make it a priority. Make reading fun and a time that you and your child look forward to spending together.
Sponsored by the Nebraska State Education Association, aired by the Nebraska Broadcasters Association on the station.
A lot of work goes into making Nebraska, Nebraska. Keeping it green. Helping it thrive. Making it fun. Everything that goes into caring for our outdoors, from waters to wildlife, plays a big role in making Nebraska home. Learn how we help conserve our state's natural resources at outdoornebraska.org.
Paid for by Nebraska Game and Parks. Aired with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
Discover the difference that expertise and experience can make in your real estate journey with Next Ag Appraisal and Realty. Whether you need an appraisal, sales, or farm management, Next Ag comes up with a solution with your legacy and goals in mind. Next Ag isn't just their name, it's your future. So why wait? Visit their website today at www.nextagrealestate.com or give them a call at 402-380-0432 and turn your dreams into reality. Your land, your legacy, their solutions. Next Ag Appraisal and Realty.
It's time for Outside the Box with Lincoln Stars head coach Rocky Russo and Lincoln Stars broadcaster Joel Norman on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Well, for the last time this regular season, it's time for Outside the Box here on 93.7 The Ticket. I'm Joel Norman, joined by the head coach of the Lincoln Stars, Rocky Russo, as we chat Lincoln Stars hockey. And Rocky, it's that exciting time of the year. We're getting closer to the playoffs beginning, but we got to punch our ticket first. A big weekend of hockey coming up to wrap up the regular season, isn't it?
Yeah, this is unfamiliar territory for me. Which is good. Everybody needs to experience different situations in the course of their career. And, I've missed the playoffs one time in 18 years. And it was during my first year back in Amarillo as the head coach in a rebuild year. And we fell a little bit short in the last weekend, but we didn't have control of the situation there. We actually swept that weekend and still didn't get in because the team we were chasing was able to do what we need to do this weekend, which is win a game. And so, we could sit here and we can talk about all the reasons we're in this situation and the points that we've probably left on the table throughout the course of the year. And that's a lot of them. But I've chosen to take a different perspective of, man, we're in this situation and we have a chance to make the playoffs. And as we sat here in the midst of that 11-game losing streak in November, where I felt like we were never going to win another game, to now be sitting in playoff position with 2 games left and the ability to control our destiny, is, it's satisfying from that perspective. And, Mr. Fernandez told me many times this year, he goes, I know this isn't exactly what you want. I know how competitive you are and how frustrating it can be, but, there's going to be a lot of satisfaction as you get through this year and you get through the ups and downs and the good times and the bad times, and you watch guys continue to develop and grow. And he was dead on. And it's certainly not something that I want to live in this situation again. I'll tell you that once is enough. I'd rather be locked into the playoff position and understand what our our move is on Sunday. I don't know what we're doing, where we're going. I plan on being in the playoffs. I do. I plan on being in the playoffs, and I know the guys plan on being in the playoffs, and that's the mentality you have to have, right? You can't say I hope we're going to be in the playoffs. I plan on being in the playoffs. Where we're going on Monday, I don't really know. It could be Sioux City, it could be Waterloo, it could be Tri-City. There's literally 3 different options, and you've got an entire piece of paper with different situations that I think if it gets real simple, right? If Fargo sweeps Sioux Falls and we sweep the weekend, we move to 5th, right? Yep. Any point we get basically assures us of 6th.
Pretty much.
Right.
If I'm not mistaken, because the way it looks right now, we're sitting at.
I don't think it's pretty much like
because we can get to 58, but if they get a win or 2 in there, then that changes that. 1 point isn't quite enough.
If they lose.
Yes.
Yeah. If they lose, or even if they were to lose in overtime, right? So
there's 5 different situations where we can lose this weekend. We could lose both games. Heaven forbid. Hopefully we take care of business, but we can still make it even with 2 losses. So it's really crazy.
They have to lose twice. Des Moines has to lose twice.
They do. That's what I mean. There's situations they can lose both in regulation. They can lose 1 in regulation, 1 in overtime.
Right, because we've got a 2-point lead, right? Yep. Where it gets confusing, and it's confusing for me, so I'm sure it's confusing for our fans, is you look at the standings and you go, okay, you've got a 2-point lead, but you've got 2 games in hand from a win perspective, and the normal person looks at that and goes, okay, they should have the tiebreaker, but the first tiebreaker is regulation and overtime wins. And when you look at regulation and overtime wins, we're actually tied with Des Moines with 23.
Remarkable.
And then the difference is, we've got a couple extra shootout wins that they don't put as much weight on initially. So it's points, obviously, the most points you get in, then it's ROW, regulation, overtime wins, then it's head-to-head, then it's overall wins. And so, we could potentially get to that 4th tiebreaker, because obviously if our points are tied, our ROW is tied, our head-to-head season series is tied, then we would be in the catbird seat in regards to the wins. So I don't think you can get to that one and be tied, because if we're tied, then they've won and we've not, and they would have passed us with points, and so we won't get to that situation.
Correct. Yeah, the only way we would have the same number of overall wins would be if we lost twice this weekend and they won twice, but if they win twice, they're going to surpass us.
And because even if we lost in overtime twice,
if
we lost in overtime twice,
we'd be sitting at 59 points,
and
they win twice. That's 59.
We would still be tied.
We'd be tied in points, but they would have regulation overtime wins for that tiebreaker.
What if they won twice in the shootout?
Then they would have. Let's see. This is where it gets so funny. If they win twice in the shootout, they're still sitting at 23 regulation overtime wins. Let's say we lose both games, like we said, we don't gain any points, or let's say we lose both times in the shootout. We go to 59. They win twice. We go to 50. So we would go to the 4th tiebreaker, because we would be even. And it's no. We wouldn't go to the 4th, because they would be down 2 overall wins on us,
and we would get in.
And we would get in barely that way. It's unbelievable.
I think we just.
I think we found another way we can make it.
Let's just take care of business, and we can't control what's going on in Cedar Rapids and Waterloo. I don't even know where they play this weekend. I know they play Cedar on Friday. I know they play Waterloo on Saturday.
That's
I know
right.
Sioux Falls plays Fargo twice this weekend. Those are the games that we'll be paying attention to.
You think Fargo rests guys? They've already clinched best record in USHL history in the regular season.
I mean, even if you rest guys, they're still really deep.
Oh, yeah.
And they're still very capable of sweeping them. And by the way, if you recall, did Sioux Falls not go into Fargo and put it on them a little bit?
Right before we went.
I have a feeling the Force haven't forgotten that. And they're at 49, right?
So what do you think?
Doesn't 50 or 51 sound nicer?
Sounds a little better.
So I got a feeling they're going, especially because they don't play till the following weekend. Could I see them putting Mac down or putting Plant down or one of those guys?
Kenski, maybe.
Yeah, probably. But even still, you still got Parks sitting there with 30. right? Like you can go up and down that lineup, and they still got a lot of guys that are capable of putting pucks in the net.
Oh, yeah.
So go ahead, put Plant and Gruba and and Swanson down and Sukinski down, and they're still loaded. So they could still easily sweep that weekend. But again, we can't control that. We can't control what goes on in the other games. Our only focus is a very, very good Sioux City team that is going to remember that we beat them pretty handily on Friday night, and they're not gonna be too pleased with that. And I'm pretty sure they took that out on Sioux Falls on Sunday when they just pounded them into the dirt. And I expect them to have a great effort on Friday, and we're gonna have to match and exceed that.
Now they've got a full week to prepare for you guys. We've talked about it before with the Stars doing a great job of this. This is a league where when you see teams multiple times, you get time to digest maybe a tough loss to them. You usually can come out pretty strong. How do you counteract what their counterpunch is going to be this weekend?
If I tell you now, then everyone will know.
Without the full details, of course.
First of all, you need to be very upfront and honest with your players and understand that, Friday's game is going to be even harder. They're playing for home ice advantage, or even more importantly, first round bye, because then you dig into the fact that if they don't get the bye, they don't have the ice for game 2 and 3, which means
we haven't even dove into that. Let's explain that to fans too.
Well, they've got something in their building, and unfortunately, they don't have the ice available for game 2 and 3 of the first round, and so. If we take care of business this weekend and we play them in the first round, game 2 and 3 will be here in the ice box.
Yeah.
And, obviously that's exciting and an extra carrot on the stick for our guys. But if you think that they're not trying to avoid that situation and get that bye, I mean, listen, it's really hard to win the Clark Cup without the bye. Really hard.
We witnessed it last year.
Right.
Firsthand.
Like we ran out of gas a little bit. And, we played a tough series against Des Moines, even though it only went 2. We obviously play an emotional, hard series against Waterloo. You have an emotional 2-game set in Fargo where we lose on a questionable call and a no goal and the whole deal in game 1. You come back, you win game 2. You're traveling. We were, it just, it wore us down. It wore us down. And I have a feeling that, if you look back historically in the last 10 years, I'd be shocked to see anybody have won it without having that bye.
I'd be impressed if someone made it.
Because, they make it. Madison made it 2 years ago.
That's right.
Madison made it 2 years ago, and it has been done. Like lower seeded teams have won. Arts team in Sioux Falls, I think, won as an 8 seed. Right. So it can be done, but the playoff setup as it stands, I mean, it's Friday, Saturday, off Sunday, play Monday, Tuesday, potentially Wednesdays, Friday, Saturday. Like there's no time off, none. And we invest all this time for 9 months and 62 games, and then we just want to race through the playoffs as fast as we possibly can. And then let's go ahead and drop the most important part of the season from a player personnel standpoint, which is the draft, the phase 1 and phase 2 draft. Let's drop that right in the middle so that we can really cause some distractions for the teams that are still playing in the conference finals. Obviously, we dealt with that last year, which was an incredible challenge. I mean, the players went up on the bus with Art and Corey and Mike, and I stayed back with Nick, and then Mr. Fernandez drove us to Fargo. We got there 2 a.m, back up for morning skate at 8:30. Like it's tough. And listen, I'm happy to do it. I hope that I'm in the situation where we have to manage the draft and the conference finals at the same time. I'll be overjoyed. But it is a challenge, and as much as I love this league and I have an immense respect for the league and what it does and the way it prepares players for college hockey and the National Hockey League, I would love for this league to take a step back and say we need to prioritize our playoff a little more, and we need to create a scenario where we're still presenting the best hockey. And I'm not sure in the first round that you're doing that, and maybe that's what they want.
Yeah,
let's kind of just do away with a couple teams, right? We do away with 4 teams right away, and then we're into the 5-game series, at least in the second round. That was something that we were we were all screaming to the high heavens for, which is give us 5 in the second round. Give it, instead of it being a 3-game weekend, felt like I was still coaching out in the EHL. You get a true winner there.
Right, Tier 3 does do. I forgot. I'm remembering when I did it 2 years ago too, and they do the 3-game first round, 3-game second round. What was your finals round? Because when I was in, was it 5?
It was 5.
Because the NA3, their Fraser Cup final is all sorts of crazy.
It was, well, theirs is a round robin, right?
Yep.
Yeah, it's similar to the Robertson Cup.
Yep.
In the EHL, it was 3 all the way to the end, and then it was 5. And actually, the first time I played in it, it was a 3-game series. And then they bumped it up to 5. And I still have regrets because we played the crosstown rival in the final, and we ended up going 1-1-1-1-1.
Oh my gosh.
And I really wish that we had done the 2-2-1, because I think the series would have been over in 3 or 4. Instead, we lost in overtime in game 5. So, it is what it is. But, I to every athlete, to every coach, to a fan, you spend all year long pursuing a playoff opportunity and a chance to win a championship. And then you get there and it's like, oh, by the way, congratulations, your regular season's over. Your playoffs start tomorrow and you got to go here and you have no time to prepare. And, fortunately we play all these teams and you can prepare as best you can. But in the North American League, you had a week and then you had 2 games and basically you had 2 weekends to finish 5 games. So you would do like Friday, Saturday, Thursday, Friday, Sunday, something along those lines, depending on where you were going. Obviously, if we're going to Corpus Christi, you got to probably do Wednesday, Thursday to get back and play on Sunday maybe. But that was 2 5-game series, got you to the tournament. Then it was a round robin tournament. At one point, they tried to do a play down in that league and they lost all the mojo. They lost that feel of the Robertson Cup, and I love that. I like the Robertson Cup because everybody goes to one place.
You like the round robin?
It's no longer a round robin.
They changed it this year.
Not 5 or 6 years ago, they switched to 1 plays 4 in a best of 3, 2 plays 3 in a best of 3, and then the 2 teams play a 1-game championship.
That's right.
But prior to that, it was round robin, and so there was 4 teams in, and you'd play 3 games, and the top 2 teams would move on to play a 1 game. The 1 year they did the play down, it kind of got lost in the shuffle. And, especially in the North American Hockey League, all the colleges are going and getting that last look at those players, the uncommitted guys that are still there. The NHL guys are going and taking a peek before the draft is over. They're less likely to travel to Amarillo to watch game 1 and game 2 of the Robertson Cup finals. And then, then it became worse. Well, what if we're playing Maine? What if we're playing Fairbanks? Right? Yeah. It's the travel is not feasible because it literally is the entire country. And if you look last year, I mean, we had to have contingency plans on literally winning game 5 in Fargo and getting on the bus and going to Youngstown.
Yeah.
Which we're
or
talking
Chicago when we weren't sure.
Yeah. I mean, you're talking about 24 hours on the bus, maybe. Like, I mean, bananas when it comes to travel.
I remember thinking that day of that game 4, when we were here in Lincoln, it was like, okay, what are we doing? We packing for 5 days, packing for a couple days.
Now
we got to win this game first and hopefully go on the road for as long as necessary.
So, and that was our plan. We were going to bus to Fargo and then we were going to bus directly to Youngstown.
Yeah.
And, obviously things didn't work out, but, and that's, I got some emails yesterday about Western Conference semifinal scenarios. And I'm like, ignore.
Let's get in first.
Ignore. I'm like, and Tyler called me. He's like, what do you think? I'm like, I don't care.
Oh yeah.
I don't care. It's irrelevant to me. I'll be happy to play anywhere. If they want to freeze Holmes Lake, we'll go play there. Right. I just want to get in and I don't want to worry about what those distractions mean. So I talked to Nick. I'm like, Nick, can you he's like, I got it. Don't worry about it. Let's focus on on Friday, and the big challenge that we have. That's the only thing that matters.
And that is the case. Taking on Sioux City Friday at the Icebox. And if you don't need any other reason, like we talked about, if the Stars can win, they take care of business this weekend. By everything I've seen, Rocky, if we win both games, it will be Sioux City in the first round.
Well, the only way, not necessarily. I mean, if we win,
if
okay,
we win,
but if we win both games and Sioux Falls loses both games, it's Tri-City.
Well, that's true. That's true.
Okay, so
yeah,
there's things out of our control.
Yeah,
there's things out of our control, and
it's simple. Win 2 and you're in for sure.
Yes.
Nothing denies that. We're playing somewhere in the first round. That's the most important thing.
3 or 4 points get you in guaranteed.
Yep.
Correct.
Yep.
You're rolling the dice if you only win 1, and you're really rolling the dice if you get swept. So, obviously that's not what our intentions are, but we know we have a great opponent. They're in second place right now and battling for a first round bye for a reason. They're talented. They're well coached. They're disciplined. They've got a good power play. They've got good goaltending, and they're a tough beat whenever you play them. And I expect this weekend to be no different.
Should be a lot of fun. Hope to have everyone there on Friday night. As we mentioned, final home game of the regular season. Hoping to get some playoff games here once we get to that point, cross that bridge one thing at a time. Rocky, how great has the fan support been this year, though? We talked about it. It got tough. The season got off to that tough start, October, November, but you guys turned it around. The fans were right there all year, too.
Yeah, we've got great fans here, and we've got great support from the community. I'd love to see it grow even more. But from a fan base perspective, it's been wonderful, and we've had some really great crowds throughout the course of the year. Obviously, we had a couple weekends there where we were talking about the biggest crowd we've had in the 3 years that I've been here. I always heard stories about people scalping tickets trying to get in the Icebox in the late 90s, and I'd love to get back to that. I just feel like the product that we have and the pace that we play at and the caliber of talent is something really special. And obviously, it from a price perspective, it's a great night out for a family. You're not going to break the bank, and you can come out and have a great evening of entertainment, fun, and all the things that go on during the intermission and the media timeouts, and it's such a cool experience. And I hope that we can really bring in a big crowd on Friday night to support the guys and hopefully punch that ticket to the Clark Cup playoffs.
You talked about the talent that's on display every time you come to watch the Stars, and we'd be remiss if we didn't talk about our talented goaltender, Jan Shostak, announcing his college commitment today to St. Cloud State. I'm sure a lot of people were wondering all year, Rock, hey, when's he gonna commit somewhere? Where could he go? And pretty exciting news for him, for a really talented guy.
That's been a lot of work for me. And not because of his talent. He's obviously talented enough. It's, he's still learning English and trying to find the right fit, trying to find the place that wanted to be patient, give him another year so that he can continue to grow his ability to communicate. And, it for us and for Jan, and I was really proud of Jan when we were talking about it. I'm like, Jan, you're going to have to do your schoolwork. And this isn't a scenario where you can go and just play hockey. You've got to be a student as well, and that's what he wanted. That's why he's here. And so, we were able to find a situation that fit best for everybody. St. Cloud is obviously an outstanding program. It's a school that's going to give him the help that he needs without giving him too much help and force him to be a student. They were willing to be patient in regards to his development with his language skills and not really force him into a situation where he wasn't going to thrive and excel. And so, it works out great for everybody. They get a fantastic goaltender. We obviously get it, arguably the best returning goaltender in the USHL next year. And, it all starts in the net when you're building a team. And when you can start with Jan Shostak in the cage next year, that's a pretty good building block.
Should be a huge relief. The Stars fans hearing, 1, he'll be back. 2, he's making a great college commitment as well. And that's going to be one of those pieces. You definitely will, not that we want to jump ahead that way, but it'll be nice to have that as a piece knowing, hey, we can build on this guy next year.
Yeah, I mean, we have a lot of really good pieces that are coming back next year, and we've got some guys coming up from our affiliate list. We've obviously been diligently working on the draft and preparing for that, and so, I'm not looking ahead because we have unfinished business this year, and each season is from my perspective, a separate chapter in my career, and so, I have no desire to look forward to next year, but good organizations always have to have one eye on the future and making sure that you're managing your assets properly, you're building your affiliate list properly, you're aware of what's returning, what's not returning. Do you feel like a player has maybe maxed out their potential and they need a fresh start? And those are all the things that we sit and talk about for hours and hours and hours and hours. And thank goodness my wife is so patient because I'm on the phone an awful lot. But it's the work that needs to be done in order to put the best product on the ice, give us the best chance to win hockey games and compete for championships, because that's what I know that the fans here in Lincoln are interested in seeing year in and year out.
We've talked all year about the youth of this team, the guys being younger, this being a year of growing, building for the future, but also trying to accomplish a lot this year. Just how much would that mean for that returning core that'll come back next year just to make the playoffs? And who knows, maybe play spoiler a little bit as well.
Well, I think once you get in there, it's you're not trying to play spoiler, you're trying to win a championship, and Omaha's been playing spoiler for a while. That's not something that I'm too interested in. I am interested in a ticket to the dance, and if you get in, you got a chance. And for us, of course, the benefit to our returning players to be able to have playoff experience this year will be massive for them, individually, collectively. Understand what that means, understand the opportunity, and have gratitude for all the hard work that was put in as a group and being able to reach that goal. But most importantly, that ticket gives us a chance to win a championship. And again, when we were 4-14, that thought was really far from my mind. And now here we are, sitting at 26 wins. Clearly not where I want to be. Right. I don't like, to me, minimum should be 35 every year. You should never win less than 35. And so we definitely did not reach some of the goals that we wanted to reach this year. And that'll be addressed in the off season as to where we failed and what we need to do better to make sure that doesn't happen again. But if you can make the playoffs and you can give yourself an opportunity, if we run it out and we win a championship, does anybody care that we won 26, 27, 28 games in the regular season? Of course not. But to me, the regular season has to mean something. And each game you play and each day you practice, those are all things that, if it's only about the playoffs and it's only about that final result, then you kind of miss the process that gets you there. And I value that process so much because it's life-changing for players when it comes to their development physically and mentally and emotionally. And as a coach, you learn so many things throughout the course of the year and interaction with the players and ups and downs throughout the course of a season that, I never want to downplay that. And of course, I want to win as many games as I can. I want our guys to get rewarded with awards and honors and win division titles and Anderson Cups. And, you'll always trade a division title or an Anderson Cup for a Clark Cup, but it sure is nice to be one of those good teams. And, now you look at Fargo and let's be honest, they're Clark Cup or bust. If they don't win the Clark Cup, they're absolutely going to look at the season like it's a failure. And, I hope that maybe they can look back in a few years if they don't win it and say, man, what a fun season that was. And what a great experience it was for the guys and everything else. But they are Clark Cup or bust based on the records that they've set throughout the regular season. But man, that's fun. I've been there, and man, it's so much fun to just run the table start to finish and enjoy those accolades and everything that goes along with it. And you can push your guys so hard in those circumstances because they're winning and they're having success and they're just hungry for more. And that's when I can really be hardest on them. And you can't do that when you're trying to fight your way through some adversity, but there's also so many wonderful lessons within that adversity. If you can understand how to look at them and learn from them.
I really like the point you brought up in there about you can look at the cumulative regular season at the end of the year and say, okay, there's things we would have liked to have done, but all you can control right now is where you are.
Yes.
And that's the most important thing.
And at the end of the day, we've got an opportunity to play in the playoffs, to play our way into the playoffs in the last weekend of the regular season. And, that's all we can ask.
Absolutely. Should be a lot of fun this weekend. Hope to see you at the Icebox Friday night, final home game of the regular season. Tickets at LincolnStars.com. We're going to take a quick break, and we'll have more in just a moment, continuing to chat Lincoln Stars hockey here on Outside the Box on 93.7 The Ticket.
For Sean Jackson, the captain here, for the Body Shop. And man, did they hook me up with a great massage recently? The captain has a lot of stress in his life, as many people do. And for 1 hour, it was all relief. The team at the Body Shop gave me a deep tissue massage that hit every area that I was in pain at. Whether you're looking for a Swedish massage, sports massage, deep tissue, hot stone, aroma, or more, there's only one place to go. The Body Shop at 48th NA. Book an appointment today at thebodyshoplincoln.com.
Garage doors can be expensive. Are you keeping yours in the best condition possible? This is Cameron Hall with Doors Plus. Doors Plus is a locally owned business that prides itself on the fast, reliable, and friendly service. Doors Plus offers flexible scheduling so you can book an appointment that fits your busy day. My team and I will come out to your property, both commercial and residential, and provide you with the necessary information you need to make sure your garage door is in working and smooth condition. Give Doors Plus a call today at 402-590-5800 to book an appointment and learn more about our preventative maintenance plans. Doors Plus, garage doors, and more.
Way to make a moment with your kids. First, I hold my hands out like they're on a steering wheel. Then I look over my shoulder. Next, I put it in reverse. Visit fatherhood.gov. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
Integrated Life Choices has been inspiring opportunities for individuals with disabilities for more than 15 years in Lincoln and across Nebraska by offering a number of services. From group homes to independent living resources and job training, you'll find the support that allows people to live fulfilling lives. They're also hiring. If you're looking for a rewarding career supporting people with developmental disabilities, you can check out open positions along with learning more about services at ilc.net. Integrated Life Choices.
There's no better way to spark a child's imagination than to get lost in the adventure of a good book. I'm Jenny Benson, president of NSEA. Working together, parents and teachers can help every child succeed. You can help by reading to your child and let your child read to you. Encourage reading in your home and make it a priority. Make reading fun and a time that you and your child look forward to spending together.
Sponsored by the Nebraska State Education Association, aired by the Nebraska Broadcasters Association on the station.
It's fishing season. Bad actors are trolling your business emails, luring you and your employees to take the bait and steal your private information. Make sure your cybersecurity keeps your business from being the catch of the day. At Hamilton, cybersecurity is our business. We are experts at keeping your network and business information secure and off the hook. Contact Hamilton for a vulnerability assessment today. Hire your local experts. Hire Hamilton at hamiltonisbusiness.com.
Your business runs like a well-oiled machine. It's important that your actual machines do too. Stern is here to make sure you don't have to worry about that. They provide solutions for heavy equipment and automotive fuels, lubricants, and equipment guard options. And with Stern's commitment to customer service for the past 40 years, you know you have a partner to help support your operations for years to come. Contact Roger at Stern Company by calling 1-800-477-2744 or visit them online at stern.co. Stern Company, where problems meet solvers.
It's Pro Time Nebraska. The Omaha Supernovas, your Major League Volleyball team, is playing in the first ever Pro Volleyball Federation match on January 24th against the Atlanta Vibe at the CHI Health Center. Be a part of history and visit supernovas.com to secure your single match tickets today.
Rico here with HIS Auto Care at 70th and Van Dorn, letting you know HIS is a great place to bring your vehicle for service. With superior service bumper to bumper, we'll treat your vehicle like it's your mother's. Doesn't get any better than that. So call 402-488-8934 and HIS Auto will make you glad you did. 5% off, mention this ad, and for sure your mother will be proud you called. 402-488-8934, HIS Auto Care, 70th and Van Dorn. God bless you.
Attention all Wings fans. 89-cent wings are back on Tuesdays at Buffalo Wings and Rings in Lincoln. Enjoy the best wings in town for boneless or traditional at a price that makes the whole family happy.
And now at the Williamsburg Village Wings and Rings, you can enjoy $1.50 tall boys in Bud Light, Coors Light, Busch Light, and Michelob Ultra every day after 7 p.m. and all day on Sundays. Get to Wings and Rings today and make sure to stop by on Tuesdays for 89-cent wings.
Ready to make this season unforgettable? Celebrate with Liberty First Credit Union's low-rate debt consolidation loan. Combine all those bills into one affordable monthly payment with quick access to funds. Imagine all the extra cash for holiday shopping sprees, festive parties, or that well-deserved vacation. Stop by any of their branches or visit libertyfirstcu.com to find out more about their low-rate debt consolidation loan. Make this holiday season one to remember and celebrate with Liberty First Credit Union, banking with purpose.
A lot of work goes into making Nebraska, Nebraska. Keeping it green. Helping it thrive. Making it fun. Everything that goes into caring for our outdoors, from waters to wildlife, plays a big role in making Nebraska home. Learn how we help conserve our state's natural resources at outdoornebraska.org.
Paid for by Nebraska Game and Parks. Aired with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
It's time for Outside the Box with Lincoln Stars head coach Rocky Russo and Lincoln Stars broadcaster Joel Norman on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Joining us on the line is both a gold medalist, a two-time national champion, and a Lincoln, Nebraska native, Jordan Petrie, to chat a little bit. Jordan, I know we've been trying to do this a little bit ever since you were representing Team USA at the World Championship, but congratulations on what's been a great year for you so far, and thank you very much for joining us here on the line. How are you doing?
Yeah, of course. Thank you. I'm doing great. We just got back from nationals, so I'm just recovering from that. But other than that, just doing good.
I was going to say congratulations on that, the latest achievement for you over with Shattuck St. Mary's. Talk to me about this one. How sweet is it winning that back-to-back years?
Yeah, it's been awesome. I mean, like both years have been like so different, but I think this year was just so cool to be like, well, we got to go to Florida, which was awesome, and then each game was just like. It wasn't scary, but it was just like every game you had to be ready. And once we got to that final game, like as a team, we were like, we're going to do this. Like, we're not losing now. Like, this is what we came here to do. So, which is like similar to last year, but it also had its differences, which is awesome.
Had to be pretty cool to probably draw on that experience from winning a year ago, too, and kind of knowing, hey, we've done this before, right?
Yeah, exactly. And we had like a lot of our team was seniors, which were juniors last year and had done it, and and the other half was like girls who hadn't, and we wanted them to have that experience, and I think they wanted us as seniors to go away having one last championship. So
back-to-back titles. Do you have a favorite? I know the second one is very raw and very fresh in your memory.
Yeah, I think this one might be my favorite, just because like last year it was like a 4-1 game, I think, but this year it was overtime through. So
more than fair. Just mentioned we're joined on the line here by Lincoln, Nebraska native Jordan Petrie, who's had a heck of a start to her hockey career. And before, you even got to this level, playing in prep school, getting ready to go to play college hockey at Ohio State, which we'll talk about in a moment. You grew up playing hockey in Lincoln, Nebraska. Tell me about that. How did you get started, and how has that been a big part of your hockey journey?
Yeah, so my old house, I had just moved in, and I didn't really have any friends there, but there was a lot of kids in the neighborhood, and just across like my backyard, there was these two boys, and they had both played hockey, and I got to be friends with them. And so I started going up there and messing around, and their dad was like, well, you should just play roller hockey. Like, you seem pretty good. Like, I had rollerbladed since I was like 2 years old, so I knew how to rollerblade. It wasn't that. So I started doing that, and then so the roller hockey season started, and my mom was like, well, I bought all this gear, so I'm going to put you in ice hockey too. And that's when I went into like learn to skate with the Lincoln Stars, and there's a big group of us that did that, and it just kept on going from there.
I was going to say, I was familiar with you having a little bit of that connection with the Icebox and with the Stars, with having done those programs. I was going to say, how big were those for you with your development? How cool is that, whenever you are able to come back to even be at the Icebox?
Yeah, no, it's huge. I mean, just like being able to go back there is crazy because like whenever I go back to Lincoln over like breaks and stuff, I get to skate there, and it's just like it's funny to think that I was 8 years old, 9 years old, skating there, doing learn to skate and playing mini mites and all that kind of stuff, and now I'm about to go to college and I still can skate there, so it's definitely awesome.
It's such a cool story. Another cool story for you was getting a chance to represent, your country. Something I think every athlete really dreams of getting the chance to do. You got to suit up in the red, white, and blue several times, and you were part of the U18 Women's World Championship team, Team USA, winning gold this past winter. How remarkable was that experience? I remember, so many people here were so proud when you even just made it on a team, let alone became a gold medalist.
Yeah, it was incredible. Like, we have to do all these camps to like get finalized for the team, and so every camp people would get cut down, and it's terrifying, honestly. And so once I found out I finally made it, it was so relieving, and we got we had a few camps before we went overseas, and then once we got there, we did pre-camp, we did all kinds of training, and the game started, and it went by in a flash. Like, it was the most fun I've had in my entire life.
I guess that answers my next question. I was going to say, if it's unfair to compare, international gold medal versus national titles here with Shattuck, I was going to say, do you have a favorite? But I think you kind of gave the answer there.
Yeah, I do think that was my favorite. It was so different, though, like being in a different country, just like, and we were there for so long, and we had like pre-camp, whereas at nationals here, we don't have pre-camp. We go and we practice once and you're playing, but there we practiced for a week and a half before we started playing even.
And that's something people don't always talk about, is how tough that preparation really is for those international tournaments. You get a little bit of time, like you mentioned, but you don't get a full season to build up and become a champion. You're kind of thrown together with some of the best players in the country. How tough was that part of it, going, okay, maybe I got to know where to be with the players a little differently than before?
Yeah, exactly. So when we first got together as a team, it was like, what are we going to do to win? And we put everything, like our coaches had put everything together, and we just started going, and we had to work our hardest every time we got on the ice just to mesh and to become a family that quick. Like, it's not easy. So we did a lot of team bonding, and that's pretty much it.
So heading off to college here pretty soon, getting set to go to Ohio State. They've had a lot of success with women's hockey. Tell me how much that was definitely part of your decision, how excited you are to head there.
Yeah, no, I'm definitely super excited. I guess when I was like going into the college process, I wanted to go somewhere where like I knew we could win a national championship. And our coach there, she's one that'll get you a national championship. We work hard there. We work hard at Ohio State, so it's going to be a great journey for me. I'm super excited for it.
They won, of course, the NCAA championship this year. How much were you following that from abroad? I mean, I got to imagine you were going, this is great. Now I'm heading right into that.
Yeah, exactly. And one of my teammates from last year is actually on that team, so I've been watching it, and I'm so happy to see them win. They had an amazing time.
That's so cool. That's going to be a lot of fun. Looking forward to following you going there as well. Tell me this, I'll ask you this as kind of our last question here, as you're talking to someone who's maybe thinking about, but maybe trying to get into hockey in Lincoln, and maybe they're not sure about it. Maybe it's, girl or a boy, a younger kid. Tell me what you would tell them in a situation why you think, it's a great place to really learn to play the game and to love the game.
Yeah, I'd say you just got to go for it. Like, if you don't like it, then you don't like it, but at least you tried. And I feel like it's just such a great place to like start playing, and like you get to watch the Lincoln Stars, like the USHL team. And I think that like inspired me a lot, just to see like them playing on like a big stage. And I don't know, I met some of my friends that I'll be friends with forever from Lincoln. So
very cool. Well, Jordan, thank you very much for taking some time out of your celebration, I should say, after winning the national title. Thank you for joining us. Really looking forward to following your journey once you head off to Ohio State. Thanks again.
Thank you so much.
That's Jordan Petrie, a Lincoln native, gold medalist, two-time national champion, looking to add to her hardware when she heads off to play hockey at Ohio State. We will be back with more in just a moment, wrapping things up here on Outside the Box on 93.7 The Ticket.
The Mill Coffee and Tea inside our 93.7 The Ticket studio is now open 7 days a week. From 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. on weekdays and 8 a.m. to 1 p.m. on Saturday and Sundays, you can enjoy burritos, cinnamon rolls, fresh brewed coffee, delicious tea, or even their coffee and cream ale, sold exclusively at the Ticket Mill location. Open 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. on weekdays and 8 a.m. to 1 p.m. on the weekends, right here at 1040 O Street in downtown Lincoln.
It's pro time, Nebraska. The Omaha Supernovas, your Major League Volleyball team, are about to hit the court. Mark your calendars for January 24th at 7 p.m. when we host the first ever Pro Volleyball Federation match against the Atlanta Vibe at the CHI Health Center. Witness world-class talent, including national champions and Olympians. Don't wait. Secure your single match tickets today at supernovas.com. and become a part of history.
Who has been serving local contractors and utility contractors all across the state since 1997. When you see the black and white trucks, you know the baddest dudes in the business have arrived. Bauer is currently looking for equipment operators, laborers, diesel mechanics, and aerial linemen. Join the brotherhood built on hard work, authentic people, and pedigree of success. Bauer, a family-friendly company who reminds you, go Big Red!
At Allo, we believe in the exceptional. From extraordinary whole home coverage to super fast speeds, our local teams are always on hand to make sure your service is running at top performance. Let go of lag, banish buffering, and enjoy outstanding service throughout your entire home. We believe in delivering nothing less than exceptional service, so that's exactly what we do. Visit us at allofiber.com to experience the exceptional.
There's no better way to spark a child's imagination than to get lost in the adventure of a good book. I'm Jenny Benson, president of NSEA. Working together, parents and teachers can help every child succeed. You can help by reading to your child and let your child read to you. Encourage reading in your home and make it a priority. Make reading fun and a time that you and your child look forward to spending together.
Sponsored by the Nebraska State Education Association, aired by the Nebraska Broadcasters Association on the station.
A lot of work goes into making Nebraska, Nebraska. Keeping it green. Helping it thrive. Making it fun. Everything that goes into caring for our outdoors, from waters to wildlife, plays a big role in making Nebraska home. Learn how we help conserve our state's natural resources at outdoornebraska.org.
Paid for by Nebraska Game and Parks. Aired with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
Discover the difference that expertise and experience can make in your real estate journey with Next Ag Appraisal and Realty. Whether you need an appraisal, sales, or farm management, Next Ag comes up with a solution with your legacy and goals in mind. Next Ag isn't just their name, it's your future. So why wait? Visit their website today at www.nextagrealestate.com or give them a call at 402-380-0432 and turn your dreams into reality. Your land, your legacy, their solutions. Next Ag Appraisal and Realty.
Hey guys, Jake Sorensen here from Early Break. The garage door at our house has been needing replacement for a couple years, and a few months ago, we finally did something about it. Steve's Garage Doors and Services was great through the whole process in providing options and also going to the next level to get a door that was approved by our HOA. And best of all, the removal of the old door and installation of the new door was done smoothly with no issues. Call Steve's Garage Doors and Services today at 402-480-2840.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com. On the internet, KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket.
Are you searching for a helping hand in life? Look no further. Integrated Behavioral Health Services is your answer. They're your compassionate, trusted partners committed to guiding you from challenges to triumphs. Their licensed professionals offer personalized therapy for individuals, couples, and families. At IBHS, the focus is you. Experience a life-changing transformation in an environment tailored to your unique needs. Visit ibhealthservices.com today and take that first step towards a brighter future. Discover the power of healing with Integrated Behavioral Health Services. You're not alone. Let them walk this journey with you.
It's time for Outside the Box with Lincoln Stars head coach Rocky Russo and Lincoln Stars broadcaster Joel Norman on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Winding things down here on Outside the Box on 93.7 The Ticket. I'm Joel Norman as we're chatting Lincoln Stars hockey. Just 2 games remaining in the regular season. It's a fun time to be talking about it. And as you might have heard from earlier ago, first off, love to thank Jordan Petrie for coming on, joining us on the line. A lot of fun to talk about. And I think if you don't know about her story, you definitely need to look into it. Just an incredible hockey player with Lincoln, Nebraska roots, and really doing some big things at the women's hockey level, and really looking forward to following her story as she continues to improve. But before that, when I had head coach Rocky Russo on with me, we were talking about a lot of these different playoff scenarios for the Stars. By my count, there's 10 different ways the Stars can clinch a playoff spot this weekend. And the fun thing is that there's 5 ways where even if they lose both games, they can still get in. So things looking good. But the most important thing for Lincoln is you're in for sure if you collect at least 3 points. You can win both games. You could win one and lose one in a shootout or overtime, and you'd get into the postseason. That's the most important way that they want to try and get in. But I know we got a lot of questions. And Harrison, I think we had a couple people who actually had some comments earlier, I believe.
Yeah, absolutely. And there's a little bit of time left in the show, but if you guys want to get any last-second comments, Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, Twitter, Allo Channel 961, streaming all throughout Ticket Weeknights, so be sure to hop on the other shows. But a lot of this, a lot of good luck for the Stars. We do got some questions, mainly about people coming back. This one's from Tom. He says, who are some of the other guys you anticipate coming back? I know we talked about the goalie, but some of the other guys as well.
That's an interesting question. I think Rocky Russo would have a much better answer for you on a lot of that. What I always tell people is that, as long as they're not going to age out, and I think it's important for fans to remember, I'm sure a lot of you listening are already aware of this, but, as long as the player doesn't turn 21 before January 1st of the next coming season, so it would have to be before January 1st of 2025, they're technically eligible to come back. However, every case is different. Some guys leave before they're 21. They head off to college based on the availability of that college. Other guys may make the team. Other guys may not. And that's the thing. And Coach Russo has said that all year. And he said this after the end of last season, that whenever this season does end for the Stars, that group as it is never going to be the same. You might have a lot of those guys back. You might have a few of those guys back. And I think the Stars are really anticipating to build off of the core that they're establishing this year and look to see a lot of guys take some big steps next year, because you look at how last season's team went into this year. You lost a lot of those core pieces. You had some guys take some huge steps, but as we mentioned, it's been a bumpy road, and this team's continuing to try and get that playoff spot locked up. So heading down the home stretch, you never know, right where we want to be with contending, but looking to try and lock it up, of course.
Absolutely. We got a couple more here before we go ahead and wrap up. This one from an unknown texter. I'm unfamiliar with the USHL playoffs. Does it work like the NBA 7-game series?
So the way the playoffs work, for anyone who's curious, and there are slight changes this year from before. The first round is between teams who are the 3 seed and the 6 seed. They match up in one matchup in the first round, and the other is the 4 and 5. So season ends today. Then, of course, a lot of things can change by the end of this coming weekend. The season ends today. 3-seeded Waterloo would host Lincoln in a best-of-3 series, 3 games in 3 days, if they need game 3, all at Waterloo. So there's a lot of pressure on the Stars in that instance. You got to go on the road. You got to pull off the upset in a hostile environment, not to mention an Olympic-sized rink, and then you got to move on. Now, if the Stars finishes the 6th seed, and again, they can still get 5th. If they finishes the 6th seed, they would advance and they defeat Waterloo. They would advance to the second round. And no matter what, they would play whoever the 2nd seed is. Nothing is reseeded, despite Lincoln being the lowest seed if they still advanced. They would play the 2 seed, which would be Sioux City, in a best-of-5 series, games 1 and 2 in Sioux City, game 3 in Lincoln, game 4 in Lincoln, if necessary, game 5 back in Sioux City. Conference finals after that, also best-of-5. Clark Cup finals, the championship round, also a best-of-5 series, following that similar 2-2-1 format.
And one more here before we got to go ahead and wrap up here. Tomorrow we don't have head coach Rocky Russo in here because I'd love to get his answer as well. But this one from Jessica Rose. What are you looking forward to in Lincoln on your quote-unquote off season?
Yeah, I'm curious what his answer is for that. I know he enjoys that a lot, and I think he would say it's definitely a blessing. He gets that time with his family because, his girls are going to have a little more time in the summer. Myself, I go broadcast baseball in the summer. So I'll be, depending on when our season ends, I'll leave sometime in mid-May or hopefully after we raise the Clark Cup, maybe in late May and head off. My first game for baseball season is May 31st. I do that in the state of Washington. So plan to be back next year. I should say that, of course, for hockey season. But I do that in the summer. That's my summer hobby, and I joke that's always my summer vacation from the hockey season. But it's nice. I call the Stars job that's my real job. Really enjoy it. That's the normal job, and then I get the little getaway where I pretend I live in 2 different states, where really just it's a little chaotic stretch. But looking forward to the summer, but also really hoping we get a nice playoff run here, because before that tough month of March, I thought, this was a team that a lot of people wouldn't have wanted to play, and I think we can still be that team if we can just punch our ticket.
Yeah, I always forget you're such a big baseball fan. Have you had
I'm a
chance
huge baseball
to
fan.
watch Husker baseball yet?
Oh yeah.
Okay, that's very important, because they are impressive, to say the least, this year.
Most of my Sundays in the spring are spent watching baseball in some capacity. This past Sunday, we played 2 home games this past weekend. I went down to Kansas City. My dad was in town. We drove down there to watch the Royals, which I've been before.
How do you feel about, I know it's the second question, but that tax, they're not going to, the people of Missouri don't want to fund that new stadium for the Kansas City Royals.
I don't blame them, because the 2 times I've been to Kaufman, I think they've done a nice job of the renovations. I know people are split on that locally, but I think that's a nice ballpark. And anytime you're asking taxpayers to spend more money, that's always risky too. But if it was decrepit, if it was the Oakland Coliseum, which I've also been to, I would totally understand why they would want a new one. I think Kaufman Stadium's a very underrated ballpark.
I'm with you there. I wasn't too surprised by the answer from the people of Missouri in itself.
Exactly. Yeah, so that'll wrap things up here this week on Outside the Box. Thanks to everyone for asking the questions. And, we're hoping to have some more shows. We won't have one if we're in the playoffs next Tuesday. Stay tuned for what our upcoming schedule is going to be. But thank you for tuning in all regular season, and we hope to see you on Friday night for the final home game of this regular season. Tickets available now at LincolnStars.com. I'm Joel Norman, and this has been Outside the Box on 93.7 The Ticket.